You just saw a call to action here. In fact, the stars are still moving, but this is the call to action. And this was created using a WordPress plugin that is drag and drop. And one of my subscribers asked me how I made this. And so I actually want to go through and show you exactly how I did make it. In fact, we can have a look at another one. If we just go onto a different web page. Okay, let's just scroll down this web page a little bit. And you'll see another call to action there in the sidebar, because this plugin can create call to actions that you can put anywhere on your website as long as you have a widgetized area or you know how to edit templates. If you can put a widget into a widget area, you can put a call to action in any area of your site that has that capability. Okay, so I've got Call to Action Pro installed on this website, and when you install it you get this CTA Pro menu item, and when you click it you're taken to the Call to Action Pro section. Now this one's already been installed, and what we can do is choose a template to base our call to action on if we like, and this is actually improved from the version that was released. You've got a much better viewer for checking out the pre-installed templates. Okay, in fact we're not going to use a pre-installed template, we're going to create one from scratch. Some of these pre-installed templates come with Call to Action Pro, other ones you can buy as separate packs, but I'm going to show you how to create one, the one we just saw earlier, without any packs at all. It's just basically from scratch. So we're going to click on create a new call to action from scratch, and we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Call to Action Promo because that is what this call to action will do. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit. Now the first thing I need to do is set the size of my call to action, and to do that what I do is I go into the website I want to add it to in Google Chrome and press F12, and that brings up the Chrome inspector down here, and then I click on the little magnifying glass and then just click into the area and move the mouse around until I can get the mouse into the area where the call to action is going to be, and you can see that is 777 pixels wide by 685 high. And in fact that call to action I created there is, you can see, 737 pixels by 295. However, this theme is actually responsive. If I change the size of it, you can see the call to action actually changes size as well. It's now 617 by 657 wide. The call to action itself is responsive as well, which is great. Okay, so let's start off, and we're going to say, what was the size? I've forgotten now. Let me go back to this size. Let me just check the size again. F12, magnifying glass, mouse over the area until I can find the box that holds the call to action. That's that content box. That's 777 wide. Okay, so we're going to make our call to action 750 wide, and I'm going to make it, let's have a look, how high did we have this call to action? Okay, that call to action is 295 high. Or we can leave it 300. Now, the background on this call to action, the background is actually transparent. Okay, and I'm going to make this one transparent as well by using this little selection box. The problem is that if I do it now, then I'm not going to be able to see. Let me show you. Make it transparent and choose. Now I can't see where the borders of my call to action are going to be. So I leave the colour in there for now, or any colour in there for now, and I can see exactly where things have got to be placed. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to get my affiliate link for the call to action plugin, so that if somebody clicks on this and it's taken to the Call to Action Pro website, then my affiliate link has been used, and if they buy I'll make a commission. Okay, and I'm going to paste it in to this box here, the link. Now this is on the basic settings, and by pasting the link in here, say open in a new window, by pasting the link in here, essentially if anybody clicks anywhere on the call to action, let's bring the call to action in again, if anybody clicks anywhere around here, not just on the button but anywhere, then the call to action will open up the sales site in a new window. Notice I haven't done that with this call to action because as I mouse over, my mouse pointer isn't changing. It only changes when I put it over the button. and if you click on the button, then you're taken to the sales page. The reason is that in the previous version of Call to Action Pro, they didn't have this box on the basic settings which control all of the canvas for the call to action. So all I did on this one was I just used the text and the button and put the URL into those two items. Okay, let's get started then. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a simple text, and you can do that just by clicking on the text button here, and you can then drag it around wherever you want. And this one is just going to say simple drag and drop interface. Now I'm going to change the font, and let's have a look which font we want to use. Change the size of the font as well. Okay, don't like that font there. Let's make that a bit bigger. Okay, simple drag and drop interface. Put some dots. And you can see we've got more options here.
Avast virus database has been updated.
And you can see we've got more options here where we can put in padding, backgrounds around the individual items, borders and so on. And we can use custom styles and various things to do with the links. And I could actually put a different link here and specify what happens when you click the mouse. So there's a few other options there. We're going to not bother with those at the moment. Let's get on with the next bit of text. So I want to add another piece of text. And this one is going to say great animation effects, and we're going to choose, let's choose Oswald for that, and I'm going to try increasing the size and make it bold, and we're going to change the color as well. And then choose OK. So we've got that. Now if I decide I want to change the font again, I can do. In fact, I think I prefer that one, but it's too small now. 95. Okay, that's fine. And you can see further down here we've got a timeline, and we're going to use that timeline in a little bit to rearrange things and to make things happen. But if I just click on the start button, we can see what we've got so far and what the default settings are with the two texts that I've just put in. Okay, so they just fly in from the left. Let's compare that to the one I created and showed you earlier. Okay, that one's swiveled in, that one was already in there. Okay. So we've got it a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. We're going to do a slightly different version. The next thing I want to do is I want to put a guarantee in there. And the plugin comes with some guarantees. So I'm going to click on Decoration. And you can see the various bits of decoration here. If we click on these buttons at the top that come with the software, drop shadows, extras, guarantees. Here's the guarantees. And let's just put in, let's try this one. So to add that one, I'm going to just double click, in fact a single click and then OK, and you can see now that's been added. And I can change the size of it, so let's try, we'll just drag it down a little bit to see, let's say 60% height, 60% width, and see if that's OK, or is it still too big? It's still too big, okay. So let's just drag the width down, let's try 40%. And 40% for the height. Okay, and that now fits okay into the window. Okay, next thing I want to do a button over here, and that's another piece of text decoration. We want buttons, and we're going to choose one of these. Let's choose this one at the bottom and drag it in. Okay, at any time you can just click on the start button to see what you've got, and you see all of them are just rushing in from the left. So nothing special yet. And what I also want to do, in fact, let me just delete that button for a moment. I'm going to go down, click on the button. You see the button is now highlighted here. I'm going to just delete that because I want to show you something. I'm going to put the text in first, and the text for the button is going to be click here to find out more. And there's that text. I'm going to change the font to, let's have a look. I think these are the Google fonts at the top. I like these a lot more. Okay, let's choose Oswald. I'm going to change the font size slightly. Okay, let's put in the button now. So we click on text decoration. I'm going to pick on that, click OK, and drag it in. Now you can see the problem. What this plugin is doing, when you add effects, they add in layers, and the last one, the button I've added, is the top layer, so that will cover any of the lower layers. However, we can change this. Let me just give the button a name so I know which of the items it is in my list below. You can see now if I scroll down, you can see the button is actually called button, and the text you can see, click here to find out more. Oops, is this item here. I can see that. So all I need to do to get the button underneath is to grab this moving drag element button and drag it underneath the text, and there you can see it's now flipped correctly. Okay. Right. The other thing that this one has is these stars at the top, and to do the stars is fairly simple. All I do is go to Google to find images. Let me go to google.com. Star clip art, Google search, and then just click on the images tab and find a star that I want to add. One that looks good. Okay, that's kind of a fun one. What I should actually do is just make sure search tool usage rights, label for reuse with modification, label for reuse. Okay, I want to find one that I can certainly, that I have the right to use. That I think is the one I used in this particular effect. There's quite a few I could choose from here. Let's have a look. Okay, let's choose this one, and I want to visit the page so I can download it. I'm going to download small PNG. I don't need a very big one. Click Save Image As. Okay, and I've now saved that as a PNG file. The one thing I want to do though, I want to make sure it's a transparent background, just in case I decide I want to change the background of my call to action to a different color. I need this to be transparent so it always shows through. Now the way I'm going to do that is in Photoshop Elements. Now you can use whichever tool you know how to use, but this is the one I know. So I'm going to right click on the layer. You've got to have the layers panel visible. You can toggle that with this button down here. I'm going to do duplicate layer and just leave it as it is. And I'm going to make that other one invisible, so I'm going to actually play around with this layer, and then we want the magic wand tool, and we can just click on the white background and then press the delete key on the keyboard and then save as. Now for a transparent background I'm going to save this as a GIF. So save GIF and colours, all that as they are, just click on OK. And then I get this box and just click on that. Okay, so that's that done, and close that. And I want to add a new media item. And all I have to do here is to drag my star GIF, drop it into WordPress and grab the URL. Okay, so I've got the URL copied of that glyph. Next thing I'm going to do, go to decoration, we're going to add the star, and at the bottom of this you'll see a custom URL. I'm going to just click custom URL, paste in my star icon, click on OK, and you see a star has now been added, which I can drag around. And let's make it 20%, 20%. Okay, so there's the first star, and I'm going to call this star 1 because we're going to need to know the orders of the stars in a little bit. So here's star 1. I'm going to duplicate it. I want to make 5 stars altogether. So there's 1 already. Duplicate. You can see now I've got 2. Duplicate 3. Duplicate 4. Duplicate 5. Right, I've got 5 stars now, and I can start dragging them out. And position them roughly where I want them. Okay, now we need to, let's have a look. This one's star 1, this one is star 2, so let me just do this again. Click on that, star 1, this one is star 2. Click on the third one, that is star 3. Click on the next one, that's star 4. Click on the next one, and that's star 5. So if I click through the stars now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me just check they're lined up down here properly. So we've got star 1, star 2, star 3, star 4, star 5. And let's just line them up. This is a little bit tricky, and hopefully in one of the later versions of this plugin it'll give you an easier way to align items like this. But it's not too bad. It's still a little bit high. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let's have a look and see what this looks like so far. Right, everything flies in, and that's not what we want. You can see the mouse pointer over all the items in here is the hand, because it's going to click through to the affiliate link, because on the basic settings we have that link entered into there. Now let's click on just one of the stars for a moment. Let's have a look at the original effect again. Let me just scroll out. I'm going to refresh the screen, and let's scroll down and see what affects what order things happen. Right, so the button flies in, this one rotates in, so let's just try that first. The button and text fly in, and then this rotates in. So let's click the button, and we scroll down, we can see this is the button here, you can see this is selected, this bar. And this one, what we've got is there's a slight pause of 0 seconds, so there's no pause, and then it skews left. So you can see it skews left, it actually skews from the left, we should say. Right, what we want it to do is we could try fade right. Let's have a look at that and see. What did I just fade right? I fade righted this. This is actually, let me just put that one back. That was actually the guarantee. What I wanted, and this is because I haven't labelled things, and I should have done. That's the button. I have labelled the button, haven't I? Here we are, here's the button. Let's fade right. Okay, and at the same time we also want the text to fade right, because the text fades with the button. So let's have a look at that. There you see those slide in. Okay, next up, let's have a look at this guarantee. And what I want is, I want the guarantee to sort of start as a little dot and grow big. So let's just find the guarantee. I'm going to just click on it and type guarantee seal, so it's got a name and I can find it easier. Here we are, guarantee seal. And the way it's going to come in is zoom, like that. The other one you can have is just fade in, fade left, fade right, fade from the top, fade from the bottom, skew left, skew right, bounce, bounce left, bounce right, top bounce, down bounce, rotate, vertical flip, flip horizontal, rotate vertical, rotate horizontal, zoom out and zoom in. So what have we got? We've got zoom, and zoom in. Those two look the same, so let's just pick one of them and have another look. You see that's doing that nicely now. I'm going to go on to this Great Animation Effects. See, it's down here, and rather than that skewing, what I want is to flip horizontally. So let's go back and have a look. And if we go back and look at the original again, the reason I'm scrolling up and scrolling down is because I've got this set so that the call to action is only triggered as the viewer moves the mouse down into that area of the page. So it's only as we scroll into that area that the call to action triggers and you get the animations. And I'll show you how to do that now. It actually waits about a second or so. Right. I want to do that one again, just to see what happens with this drag and drop interface. Okay, that one gets bigger. So that one again is a zoom, isn't it? At least in there. Let's have a pause, skew, zoom in. Okay, let's have a look. Right, now let's have a look at the stars. Okay, those are twirling in, and they twirl first this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. But first let's just get the twirl motion in. So we'll select star 1, and this one, which one is it? Okay, rotate, I guess. So that's one rotate. Let's do the next star as a rotate, the next star as rotate. We'll rotate this one, and the last one. Okay, let's have a look now. See, those are all rotating. Now, one thing you'll notice is not everything happens at the same time on here. So let's have a look and see what happens first. Okay, the button, then this main text, and then the rest, and then a few little jiggles here and there. So the button comes in first. Right, so let's just click on the button and have a look. So here's the button here. We can see that happens at time 0, so that's the very first thing that happens. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to move everything else along a little bit, and I'm dragging out this pause. This is the pause from the very beginning of the video. So this is going to be a 0.32 second pause before this item zooms in, and then it's going to pause and then nothing happens. And we'll change that nothing happens shortly. And let's do the stars. Drag the stars out a little bit. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make each star slightly longer. So this one is 0.43, this one starts at 0.53, this one 0.63, this one 0.73, and then the last star coming in at 0.83. Now what happens then is, if we look at the stars, as soon as the video starts, or as soon as the call to action starts, this one is going to wait 0.43 seconds before the first star rotates in. Then at 0.53 seconds after the start, the second one rotates in. Then 0.63 seconds, the next one rotates in. So they all start rotating in slightly later than the last. So let's have a look. You see there's those stars at the top twirling in. Okay, so that looks nice. Now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have this simple drag and drop interface thing come in first, then Great Animation, and then let's have a think about it after that. Let me put the first interface, drag and drop interface first. That's this one down here. So that starts at, I want that to start at 0 seconds. Great Animation will start about 1/10 of a second later. Let's go back up and have a look. I'll make that a bit longer, I think. 0.2 of a second, and then the guarantee seal. So half a second, okay, and let's just have a look, see if that's too much. No, that's fine. And the last one I want is the click button. Now we've got the guarantee seal coming in at 0.5, so let's put this at let's try 0.7 or 0.69, and this needs to be the same because it comes in with the button. Let's have a look. Okay, that looks a lot better. But you can play around with the timelines down here, and you can just drag things around. Now the bit I haven't shown you yet is this bit after the effect where it comes in. So there's a pause, there's an effect where it comes in, then there's another pause, and then something can happen, but there's nothing yet is happening. If you go back to the original, let's scroll down. Right, everything's in. See what happens after everything's in. This shakes, then this jumps, which knocks these things, and then these sort of glow a little bit. So let's have a look at that. Let's go to the guarantee. We'll just click on it to make sure it's selected. So I can find it. Here it is. Right. That's going to pause for 2 seconds, and then let's do a strong shake. So let's have a look at that. Everything's in. Pause. 1, 2. Strong shake. Right. And the next thing, the button and the text jumps. So let's go down to the button. And the guarantee shaking is at 0.5, 1 second zoom, 2 seconds, so that's 3.5 seconds. And what I'm going to do is increase this a little bit so that this starts at, let's say, 2.2 seconds. And this one also needs to start at 2.2 seconds because this is the text. And then what we're going to do is click on the none here. This is the effect that happens after that. We're going to say rebounce. And for the text as well, rebounce. Okay, so for the button and the text, we've got a pause, it fades in, then there's another pause, and then the rebounce. Okay, now after that bounces, we want this to bounce, the great animation, and then the simple drag and drop interface, we want that to bounce as well. So let me just select that so I can see where we are. Okay, we're down here. Now this button is rebouncing at 2.2, so the great animation effects needs to be slightly after. So let's say 2.25. Okay, so this will bounce first, and as if it's knocking the great animation effect text. So let's have a look. No. We forgot to put the bounce in, haven't we? Yeah, here's the great animation effects. We haven't put the bounce in. So let's click on rebounce. Alright, let's try that again. So the button should bounce, and then shortly after, almost immediately after, slightly after delay, that bounces. Well, it's bounced first, didn't it? So what have we got wrong here? Okay, that's because the button and the click more appear after 0.69, whereas the great animation appears at 0.2. So we need to add in another half a second or so. So let's put 2.75 and see if my calculations are right. I might be slightly out there, but let's have a look. Because we need to add more of a gap from the time it appears to the time it bounces. There we go, that's better. We could even make that slightly longer. Let's have a look. There we go, and then slightly after that we want the simple drag and drop interface to also bounce. And so we're going to have to, let's have a look, this is 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So I want it slightly after 4 seconds, let's say 4.1 second. Right, let's have a look at that and see whether that's right. Okay, it isn't right. Oh, we haven't put the rebounce in. Too busy trying to get the times right and I forget to put the effect in. Right, start again. Okay, that's way too long. What have I got wrong here? Let me just do my calculation again. Great animation effects, 0.2, that's 3.8, 4. We've got 1 second in here. I need to put that down to 4 point a little bit. So that's 1 second, 4 seconds, 4.1 seconds before the rebounce. Let's have a look. That should be almost right. There we go, that's better. And then finally, after that rebounce, we want the stars to glow. So we've got this happening at 4.1 seconds. So we need, let's have a look, this is almost 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put, well, let's just leave it as it is for the moment. Let's go down and we're going to change the stars and we're going to say, whoop, yeah, I had a little accident with my mouse there and I accidentally clicked the back button when I hadn't saved the effect at the time. So firstly, there's a little warning, make sure you save often. And what I've done is I've just recreated it because I actually lost the design. I faffed around. Had I gone forward again, I probably would have got it back, but I ended up screwing things up. Anyway, let's have a look and see if we're back to where we were. That's pretty much where it was. And all we wanted to do was then make the stars glow, and we decided we're going to leave these settings as they were, and we're just going to go in and for each star we're going to pulse them. You've got some other options as well. You could swing, so that would be quite a nice. In fact, flash could be quite nice as well. Let's just go to pulse. Let's change them to flash and see. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I don't actually like that flash as much as I thought I would, so I'm going to change it back to pulse. And that's how quick it is to just change that. I'm going to go down and just save before I do anything. And then we can have a look at the effect. Okay, I want those stars to pulse a little bit later, so I want more of a pause. And what I'm going to do is add about half a second to each of these. So make each of these 2.5. Oops, there's my mouse again. Right clicking my mouse by accident, and be careful not to hit that back menu item. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I think I want a little bit more of a delay, as even so. 2.6. For all the stars. And because these are coming in slightly delayed anyway, this one's coming in at 0.63, 0.73, 0.83, then this delay, this rotate, and then this 2.6 delay in each case means that the pulse happens staged as well, slightly later for each star. Okay, that's fine. And that then is the call to action, although we've got a couple of things still to do. The first thing, I want to get rid of the background, make it transparent. Okay, so there's the transparent background, so it doesn't matter what colour background I put it onto, what colour my background of my theme is. The other thing I want to do is to say show this call to action when the CTA is visible. Now, rather than just appear immediately after the CTA is visible, I want to say once the CTA is visible, wait half a second and then show the CTA. Okay, now all we need to do to use this, there's a couple of things you can do. If you want to put it into a sidebar or a widget area, you can go to the widgets. Gone to the wrong thing there. Let me go down to widgets. You can go to the widgets and there is a CTA widget here. And all that happens is, let's just put it into the footer for the moment, I can show you. All that happens is that the CTA goes in here, you choose the one that you want and save it. And then if we go over to the website, that CTA should then be visible in the footer. Here we go, down here. And you see it's sized to the first column of my footer. That's not where I want it. If we put it into a sidebar, for example, in fact it's not really the right shape for a sidebar, so let's not do that. You can insert the CTAs using widgets. What I want to do, I want to put let me just check and see if there is after entry. Let's put it in after the entry. Okay, CTA promo, let's save that. And we'll visit the website. No, it's not on the home page because that's a specific page. Let's go to one of the posts on the site and we should find that after the entry of the post we should get the CTA. Here we are. It's down here. And you can just click on that and it'll take you to the sales page. And here we are. Just go back to my page again. There's the CTA with all the animation effects. Now if you want to insert that into an individual post, that's easy as well. All you need to do is on the CTA screen you've got the code, short code, copy, just paste it into a post. I'm going to put test post. I'll save that as a draft just so you can see it. And let's view the post. And there's the call to action then. That's how you get the call to action into a post if you want to. So that's the Call to Action Pro plugin. What you can also do, go back to list, what I can do is this brings me back to the list of CTAs that I've created. Okay, you can duplicate it and then just edit the call to action, so you haven't got to start from scratch. You can use one that you like and edit it for a different one, and then that's an easy way of creating a similar one. You can also export it, and what the export will do is it will download the CTA as a JSON file, which you can then upload to a different website where you've got this plugin installed, and you can just say upload, then select the JSON and then import, this import button, and it will install that call to action that you created on a different site into that site, the new site. So you can move these and share these call to actions that you create between websites. Okay, so that's Call to Action Pro. I think it's fantastic, and it means that people like me who aren't very good with Photoshop or graphics programs can create pretty good call to actions that look professional and get the attention of your visitors.